Hello. Today we are going to be continuing our study of the Sefer Chafetz Chaim. However, we're going to skip now a few pages to the segment about the laws of Lashon Hara. Now, a lot of the laws we're going to discuss, we've actually touched upon already, but we're going to start to get really into the laws of Lashon Hara, what's allowed, what's expected, and I think that will shed some light on a lot of the different topics we've touched so far. So today we're going to do page 25, day 25 and 26. Day 25 is called The Truth Hurts. And this is where, and we've mentioned this in the past, but this is where the Chafetz Chaim describes how Lashon Hara that is truthful is exactly what the definition of Lashon Hara is. He said it is forbidden to relate derogatory information about a person, even if the information is true. The Chafetz Chaim continues, our sages of blessed memory define this activity as Lashon Hara. The recounting of true derogatory information about another is the classic case of Lashon Hara. So he said, if you're in a conversation with someone and they're speaking badly about someone and you stop them, 9 out of 10 times, a person's response will be, but it's true. But that's exactly what Lashon Hara is. Even if it's true, it is still considered Lashon Hara. He goes on to explain that just like somebody wouldn't want, if it was about them and it was true, or about your sibling or your parent or your child, you wouldn't want all these negative, truthful things to be spread about them. So too, when it comes to anybody else, you should view them like a family member. Why would you want to spread things about someone that would embarrass them and that doesn't need to be spoken about? So he said, and then he again explains that speaking Lashon Hara is considered like being a peddler. It's like going from, it's another form of Lashon Hara, rechilis, when you peddle information about someone from one person to another. And he says it's really despicable in Hashem's eyes because filling one's mind with negative information and peddling it to others is a lowly act, and Hashem does not want us to act that way. So then in day 26, he talks about the Ba'al Lashon Hara. So up until now, he's been talking about if we speak negatively about one another frivolously for no reason, that's Lashon Hara. But then he speaks about a person that's in a whole other category called a Baal Lashon Hara. That is somebody who is a habitual speaker of Lashon Hara. They're just all the time gossiping. And I'm sure we could all think in our minds of people that we've met that are just everything they talk about is other people. They're constantly talking about other people. And it's actually uncomfortable. Sometimes when you're around people like that, it makes you almost grimace. Like you don't want to be around them so much. The Chafetz Chaim says that someone who's in that category is actually in a far worse predicament than just the regular people speaking Lashon Hara. He says their sin is even so much worse than everybody else's. And the question is why? And he said because they're basically taking an entire mitzvah in the Torah and saying that it's not really, it doesn't apply to me and it's not a mitzvah. He said that he wants to bring out the point here that people sometimes don't view Lashon Hara as really a mitzvah that we have to keep. And he said, most people you asked, most Jewish people, whether they're religious, observant, non-observant, they know that kosher is a mitzvah in the Jewish religion. But a lot of people don't view that with Lashon Hara. They just think it's something for the pious people. Oh yeah, my rabbi won't speak badly about people, but I can. And the truth is, no, that is just as equal to eating not kosher or violating Shabbos. It is all the same. They are all 1,000% mitzvos in the Torah that we have to keep. And somebody who is habitually speaking Lashon Hara is like they're saying that, this mitzvah in the Torah, this word of Hashem that he told me to keep, doesn't really apply. I decided that's not really a mitzvah. And that's obviously a bigger sin than someone who's just slipping up or speaking here and there. But when someone is basically saying this is an entire category of mitzvahs that don't apply to me, that is considered really bad. And it's like he ends off by saying that it's obvious that an Orthodox Jew who eats McDonald's is probably not really Orthodox, right? If you would go and see your rabbi eating a cheeseburger, you would probably question his status a little bit. You might be okay with it, you might not be okay with it, wherever you're holding, but you wouldn't necessarily say he's Orthodox when you would see him doing that. Well, it's the same thing. Like a person, it's the same thing about someone who speaks Lashon Hara. Like any person who consistently ignores a Torah prohibition, he's guilty of much more than committing an isolated sin. He's denying a part of Hashem's Torah, and therefore cast doubt upon the validity of his entire mitzvah observance. So, that's just something to think about. We definitely don't want to be a habitual speaker of Lashon Hara. Obviously, we make mistakes, and we're all trying our hardest. But let this not be a mitzvah that we totally cast to the side and say, does it apply to me? We want it to apply to us, that we're careful about how we speak. Have a great day.